Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to show you guys how to stick text to an object and track it through a shot. So here's our shot, and I'll break this apart and show you how we created it. First things first, we're going to start with a tracker. So I'll go ahead and reset this tracker, or better yet, delete it. Choose Media 1. So when you add a new node, it's going to add it in succession. So I'm going to hit Shift Space, type in track, and it lands on tracker, not camera tracker, but tracker, and hit enter. Now that adds it right in line and selects the node, so we're ready to go. If you don't have the studio version, you can use a point tracker instead of Intellitrack, so it'll give you an option there. You can just choose the point tracker. I'm going to choose this Intellitrack, and what we want to do is choose a point of high contrast. So I'm going to choose this nut here where they attach the brace to this gun. Normally, I would want to choose another part, but the barrel kind of covers it up here. I would like to use the edge of that brace, but it kind of blocks it right here. It barely is visible. So I'll just choose this right here. So we'll grab it, we'll move it over until we see it in our little viewer here. As long as it has like a bright point and a dark point, that really helps it track a lot better. So I'm going to let go. And with our tracker still selected, I'm going to go under tracking here and I'll track forward, or you can choose track forward and backwards. We just happen to be on the first frame. Now when it finishes, you can see it has this little green outline and shows you the tracker path. So then you can jog through and your crosshair should stay right on with the point that you chose. And you can see it does a great job all the way through. So now before we leave the tracker, we have to tell the tracker what we're wanting it to do. So on the second icon here under operation, we're going to tell it what do we want the operation to be, and we want match move. And it's going to say merge the foreground over the background, and there's some apply modes and a few other things too. And anything we add into the foreground or the green input to the tracker will now follow this path that we've laid out. So I grabbed some text here and just sized it. And this multi-merge I just added because I'm going to add a graphic. But normally you could just take this output and go straight in to the green input of the tracker. And if we hit 2 to look at this on our viewer and go back to the start of our shot, you can now see the word follows that point perfectly. Now, if you don't like the track, you can get in and edit it as well. So choose the tracker. You can see your overlay now becomes the tracker. And let's say like there's a jagged point here, a little bit of a drop down here. If you wanted to delete part of it or readjust it, you can zoom in and just hover over the track and you'll get the little keyframes here. So if you wanted to smooth one out, you can move it a little bit and you can move around on the screen, or you can just pick one. As you can see, if I hover over it and pick it, I can actually just delete that tracking point. And so it does a few throughout the course here. There's a little bit of a ramp up here. And it does move that way. So I'm going to leave it. But another way we can also smooth these tracker frames out is to keep tracker. We're going to go up to our Spline Editor right here on the upper right. I'm going to click that. And that opens the Spline dialog box. We're just going to choose tracker. And now we can see here's the same path essentially as our tracker here. We can hit Command F to zoom it into the full screen if we wanted to grab one of these. I'm going to choose Command A to select all. We could actually hit Shift S for smooth, and that'll smooth out our tracking points. So I'll close down the spline now, and we'll go back to the start of the shot, and we'll see what it does. I would choose Media 2 so we get rid of our overlays. And that looks pretty great. Now, I would normally use a callout with a little line on it, but if you don't have one of those, you can make your own. I grabbed the multi-merge, which is over here. You can see there's a regular merge here with one arrow, and there's a multi-merge with more than one input. So I can grab that, hit Shift, add it into the pipeline. Once the line turns colors, let go. And now you can see the output of text is going in here and then still hitting the foreground of the tracker. Now, if we want to add a rectangle, I took a rectangle here and made it solid. And then I just shrunk it down with border width until it became more like a line. And then I took the background here and I chose a color that matched the text that I chose originally. So now the rectangle is controlling the background. Otherwise, the background would just be full size here. If we clicked on that, it's just a full size background. So the rectangle masks the background down to this small line. And now if we take the background output with this arrow here and merge it right into the multi-merge, it's going to take that and add it into the text and the background to both use this tracker to follow where the path is supposed to be. So now choose media out again, hit 2 to put everything on our viewer. We'll go back to the start of the shot. We can actually repo this line if we need to, but I'll hit play and we'll see how it goes. And that's it. So not too bad. Use the regular tracker if you don't have Intellitrack. It's just called Point Tracker. Works fantastically as well. And now you could add graphics, text, stick it to an object. It's really just adding that tracker and switching the operation to match move. If you forget that, you'll be like, this isn't working. But other than that, it works really well. All right. Thanks for watching. As always, see you guys on the next video.